guys know now, 4 more weeks left until this series is done. We're going to finish it off on a high note with a cool little competition with me and Greg. The last time we were on stage together was 2012. So this is like the being on stage in miles. I thought it'd just be fun, man. Give you guys some entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, if you have this kind of stuff here, like this kind of equipment, I can almost guarantee a lot of pro bodybuilders do have something at their disposal, or you know, somebody in their area that supports them and says, hey man, you can use my facility. I know it happens all over the world. I've talked to some pros and heard of some that do have that. So I would imagine that they would have the same or better circumstances than I do when it comes to the gym. So I think that, you know, maybe someone watch what we do. Maybe they'll even do it for fun, for the fans. You know what I mean? It's entertaining. You know, like, why not see two guys, you know, compete with each other, you know, for fun, showing some camaraderie and whatnot, you know, just bringing some kind of positive. There's no shows that's gonna happen this year, man. Let's be serious. It's not gonna be an Olympia. If there is, you know what I mean? Like, people have gyms, you know? If you look at it this way when it comes to competing, so all my people who are watching that are competitors or like bodybuilding, period, say there's a show in November. It takes, what, 12, 16 weeks, your typical prep, right? Those people who are in shape, you know what I'm saying? 16 weeks, 12 weeks back from November, all right? You got October, September, August, July. So unless the gyms open up in either July or before that, or latest August, you only have 8 weeks of prep for shows. So I don't really think there are going to be any shows this year. Anyway, so, which gives me more of a reason to do this. I think it'd be really cool for, you know, it's not like us giving back. I don't know if I don't want to say like it's us giving back, because I just find that would be just the most disingenuous kind of thing ever. I don't feel that we're giving anybody anything back by dieting ourselves or going up here. If anything, we're giving some kind of form of entertainment, and that's all it is. If that does something for you, man, sweet. I'm glad we could provide that. But that's basically all this is entertainment. And you know, you're flipping to a channel that's entertaining and positive. So I think this will be pretty cool. And if, you know, I think maybe some pros might even, you know, tag along. Maybe we're the ones to do it, or I don't know. But I think pretty cool if you're like, hey, who wouldn't want to see two other competitors, or even like a bunch of competitors, do an online, you know, show. They diet themselves and virtually get online. You can see it. I think it'd be fun, you know. But again, that's what people really love this and want to do it. So anyway, let you guys know what I'm doing for this prep. Okay, I wasn't full on prep, supplements, cycle-wise, for the show. And when the show went, I decided there's no point in me doing this. Even though I do have a gym where I can still make progress, there's no point in me doing that to my body. Anyway, so right now I'm just on 150 milligrams of testosterone once a week. That's it. And also 25 micrograms of clen on the days I do cardio for 4 weeks. That's basically what I'm doing. So that's it. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing tren. It's just dumb. Or deck or EQ. There's no point in me doing that right now at all. So, you know, I'm just adding the element of that little bit of you know, metabolic boost from the clen, obviously with testosterone to have that bit of effect as well. But that's it. So nothing crazy. So this is mainly, and mostly all the time it is, when it comes to getting conditioned, it is just hard work. So that's it. Anyway, I think Greg should be here soon. I'm going to check. I just came downstairs to do a little video before he got here, because, you know, we're going to get down to it today. I can't wait to do legs today because I got a rack. Boom, I guess on the last video, so I can't wait to actually do some squats in here. Anyway, see you guys in a bit. What's up, guys? So, wow, 14 episodes in. Thank you guys. The only reason why I can still do this is because you guys are showing interest, and the feedback is awesome, so I really appreciate it. It keeps me motivated doing these. So yeah, just reading the comments, I see a lot of people asking that I do like a voiceover, you know. I thought I'd try to do that, you know, just kind of listen to see what you guys like. So that's what, you know, it's what I want to do. Listen to my audience and see what they like, and, you know, put it together and make sure it's as organic as I can keep it, right? So, you know, I thought I would just, you know, do a voiceover and give you guys a little bit of more of a outlook of what we actually do when I train. So, you guys know Greg comes by 3 times a week, train, full body. And I have a split I've been doing for, I don't know how many years now, but I do chest, back, legs, break, shoulders, hamstrings, break. But most of the time, my break turns into my accessory day, which I've explained before. And then my hamstring day has back in it, and my quad day has hamstrings in it. So I'm getting a lot. And I'm also trying to figure out my home gym as well, too. Just having the new rack. I'm trying to find the workouts that I can do the best with what I have. And I found that a lot of stuff I have here now. So I've been just experimenting with a lot of the exercises and pieces of equipment I have at home to get the best I can out of each workout. So anyway, so I'm getting into my getting close to my working set. So I find that my working sets they're the most challenging set. So I shouldn't be able to do more than like 15 reps for my working set, depending on what the weight is, right, relative. So here, I only have 305 pounds of weight. I'm consistent doing 405, and so I have to make a way to make this heavier for me to be able to still progress if I want to actually build muscle and do more than just sustain. So that's the goal right now, is to just basically find exercise I can do that can really put a load on to every exercise that I do, so I can either sustain muscle or build muscle. Anyway, so when me and Greg train, there's a lot of talking and feedback between sets and during sets. So that's what you see when you see certain conversations. So this conversation, we actually started talking about how your ears pop after sets.
Just like really quiet. Like
I used to get all these problems with hearing. I have hearing aid now. I remember I was like 16, went to the doctor, I couldn't hear. And he's like, oh, it's some pressure thing from weightlifting. You have to quit weightlifting. I'm like,
and then you did it.
I'm not just going to quit sports just because the doctor's like, I'm like, that's how stupid that sounds. You can't lift weights because you're going to go deaf. It's not that. It's like there's got to be some other second opinion here. But
that was the first thing you came up with?
Yeah, turns out I have an autoimmune disease. Like, it's nothing to do with freaking lifting weights. First, I'll solve a maneuver. You can't do that or you're going to death.
You were fit that time too. You visually fit.
Well,
if you walked in there overweight or regular, you wouldn't have said anything about variable training.
Didn't think anything. Maybe it's from swimming, like swimming deep under whatever. That would happen too, like the pressure. But
so yeah, that's the first thing.
Well, I said a leg press and I went deaf. But happened after the Toronto Pro too. I was deaf doing deadlifts or something. I couldn't hear after a set. I was like, whoa, weird. But
mine is quiet, like underwater, and then all of a sudden it's coming.
Yeah, I think everybody gets that. I think.
Good.
I'm hoping. I know I get it often.
Yes.
So.
This is actually bugging me that I don't have. I have 310 pounds. No, 305 pounds.
Looks like 500.
It's 305 pounds and I want 315.
Yeah.
It's about 10 more pounds.
Yeah, I mean you gotta get like one set of rear plates or.
I want 145. These are like, I just want one set of 45.
Yeah, you only need one more.
And I couldn't even get that.
So you went to that fitness place and they didn't have one set of plates that would fit the wide kind?
So they had Olympic competition.
Like
10s left.
Oh, 10 pounders?
Guess how much?
$100?
$150
per 10-pound weight. So
right.
You want
a set.
You want like Elite Co or whatever, like the
whatever. I'll take Northern Lights.
50 pounds though. You should be able to buy a 315-pound set of weights for $315. You think, but
you before it was $125, $150.
So basically feeling it out and trying to find ways to make this harder, I basically, slowed it down. So what I always preach to my athletes is make the rep harder, right? So I can do something as simple as slowing the tempo down and make that harder. But for me, that weight's still not that much. I'd have to slow it down to maybe like 5-6 seconds to make it even harder. So I'm still kind of like spinning the wheels of how to make this heavier and Greg kind of gives me an idea. It's kind of like he does this thing where he silently kind of challenges you without really saying it. It's almost like he expects you to, have already thought of something, and then it makes you challenge yourself. It's kind of annoying, but it works.
The solution 100% is to add bands though.
Yeah.
You can, I'm sure you know, it would 100% make it impossible.
It would be hard. Just those ones right there. The purple.
You put it with green bands, and you'll be like, oh man.
A green band? The big ones?
Yeah. You walk back, you're like, holy shit, and when you get in the hole, it's easy.
I can put another 100 pounds on those too.
Well, what setting, where would you even go?
Those? The bottom.
I'm just trying to think if you had it, no, it wouldn't be enough.
You can put underneath the mat.
Red bands doubled would make it infinitely harder, doubled.
Yeah.
That's all you need. It'll make a significant difference.
Yeah.
Doubling the motor for sure.
Yeah, let's try that.
You'll like it. You just gotta figure out what setting for the safety rack.
Of course I'm gonna do it, because in my mind, it's almost like you just silently challenge me.
Yeah.
So I change it up, and Greg does literally pull-ups, flies, push-ups, curls, extensions, and then some days he'll add in legs and stuff like that. But he's basically doing this full upper body with calves over and over and over and over and over again. So anyway, moving into this, I actually start my working set with the added weight, and it was pretty good.
There's still tension at the bottom. That's the whole way.
Yeah, you definitely can feel it.
Oh, you should be. Especially at the top. Bending the safety rack, so it's definitely tension. As you go down, the safety rack smoothens out, and on the way up it's pulling it, so it's definitely pulling along.
Holy shit.
It looks way better with that. I wouldn't even do it without it ever.
That's awesome.
You just do that every set.
It's amazing.
Plus, I always hate how hard something is at the bottom compared to at the top.
Yeah.
It makes me use bands all the time. Not that I can't squat anymore anyway, but when I used to be able to.
So saying we should do a squat challenge. So I always make sure that I get a few shots of Greg doing whatever exercise he's doing, so you can kind of see just what he's doing and the conditioning. When I met Greg, the first thing I thought was, when I first competed, I was like, how do I get my glutes to look like that? At the time, I had no clue what striated glutes were. I really didn't know too much about conditioning, but I remember seeing him at provincials, and I'm like, this dude has lines in his butt. I'm like, I need to look like that. So I basically, added him on Facebook, started, asking him questions and stuff, trying to secretly get some info, and he does now. And anybody else, he's like, I do charge this and blah, blah, blah. So if you want to hire me, yada, yada. I didn't hire him till a year after. But yeah, that's, this is Greg in a nutshell.
Flax seeds, is that what people eat? Flax seeds?
Yeah, and he even says after, foods that are crunchy and not like lettuce or celery. So, yeah.
Wait, want some chips? I got some chips for you.
Oh, like chips and nuts and fries and fried chicken.
This fried chicken is real crunchy. 2. Either it's my T-spine, my shoulders, or this bar I'm hearing go. I think it's a bar. I hear the bar bending. I see the bar bending.
It's like you crave sex with a bunch of women and you choose to have a girlfriend and not cheat on them. It's the same with food. You choose to eat all this shit food, but if you want the body you want, you just can't do it. You know? And if you eat all this shit food, you're gonna feel guilty about it. Same as cheating on your girlfriend. It's like...
What if you don't feel guilty for eating shit food?
Then good. Then be non-monogamous. Be poly whatever.
And so people take the blue pill, or woke. Everyone doesn't feel like crap for eating bad food. It makes him feel happy, actually.
It's like, and he literally says, like, am I the only one that has this problem? I'm like, no, everyone in the world has that problem. You don't think I want to eat shit? You don't think everyone wants that? Everyone wants to be able to eat a bunch of shit food and not get fat. So my diets try to solve that problem. But you're still going to have that problem. You still can't eat that food. It's not like with my diet, you get to just eat all the shit you want. No, you don't. You have a choice, an alternative.
So having my daughter home with me is probably the best thing. Before she's been in daycare all day and I'd be at work, and then I would be able to come home and I'd be home around 7 o'clock. She'd already be getting ready for bed. I put her to sleep. So I was only really seeing her for about maybe an hour to 2 hours a day in the morning, then before she went to bed at nighttime, and then on the weekends. But now I'm seeing her. When I get up, when I go to bed, it's awesome watching her now in this time develop. So you'll see a lot of her because, man, I'm in love with my little girl. I love her so much. It's it's the biggest blessing I've ever had. So, get used to seeing her. She's a little superstar.
A body part. So okay, let's pick freaking biceps. I want to work my biceps because they're freaking suck. Well, I know, let's do nuclei overload training. Okay, every day train your biceps, do like 10 sets for biceps every single day for a month. That's what it is. And they think that if you overtrain it, you'll have more nuclei within the nucleus of the muscle, and then you'll just have increased growth that'll last forever. Well,
people just... So I gotta say who it is. So it's another like YouTube or online coach that made this up.
I don't know who made it up. It's very popular on YouTube. Wow. It's trending. I've had at least 150 people ask me to do a video on it. And I'm like, I'm not doing a video on it, it's stupid.
Don't give it life, Greg.
And I finally did a video on it because I'm like, I gotta freaking shed this.
Don't give it more attention than it needs.
Well, it's a disattention. It's dispelling the bullshit.
So unfortunately, I didn't record the other 2 sets. I actually recorded one, but I forgot to press play. Either way, I did 2 more sets similar to this, but I just slowed the tempo down even more and then squeezed more at the top. So, just still finding ways to make each exercise, harder and harder and harder. And then from here, I just moved on to lunges. So right now, I'm still trying to figure out, what is best bang for its buck when it comes to exercises and getting the most amount of stimulation in the quads. Like, I'm trying my best to find an exercise. I've done Bulgarian split squats, lunges, reverse lunges, and I find that doing split squats like this are really good, and just slowing the tempo right down, the concentric and the eccentric, or negative or the positive, and really just focusing on that top third, or I would say, the top quarter of the lift. So when you see me pass and going up and going to full, almost to full knee extension, you can see my quads twitching a lot more. I just saw that. So I'm like really, I'm staring in the mirror, seeing if I can connect to that muscle as much as I can. So I'm watching my muscles move while I'm doing the movement, and that's showing me, how much I'm putting onto that, load onto that muscle. So that's basically how I really focus on my mind muscle connection. I literally will stare in the mirror when I'm doing the exercise, and I'll try to, connect my brain with what I'm seeing, and then making sure that I, you know, repeat that same stimulus over and over and over again. So every rep, I feel that same, pump, I would say. And then again, hamstring curls, that's another exercise I'm really trying to figure out how to optimize the most of it. Because I find hamstring curls are one of your best exercise to do when it comes to hamstring development. When you're talking about isolating just the hamstring. Yes, you can do sumos. Yes, you can do, sumo squats, wide stance, leg press, or whatever it is. But isolating your, bicep femoris, just isolating that area, I find hamstring curls are the best. You can argue and say that, Romanian deadlifts are too, but you're still getting a lot of hinging in that. So you're getting a lot of glute activation as well too. And sometimes you can overdo glute activation without actually stimulating as much as in your hamstrings as possible. So I'm figuring that one out. So I went from adding a little bit of tension, then I added too much tension, then I had to go back to, just a plate. But at that time anyway, it kind of worked to my benefit, because at that point, my hamstrings were just like torched. And a lot of the other movements I've been doing anyway have been very hamstring-esque. So, when we're looking at squats, it's a lot of hinging and hamstrings. Sumo deadlifts, that's mostly hamstrings and glutes. And then, my quads, just a few of those, just like squats, the quads are only really involved with a part of that lift. And then, so basically this whole exercise, my whole day is mainly hamstrings. And I said I do have a hamstring and a quad day. But for me, in overall development, I know that your hamstrings can never be big enough. And then apart from that, I have no ACL on my right knee. So the more strength I have in my hamstrings, the more stability I have in my knee. So that's where I'm at when it comes to my training right now, guys. So yeah. And in closing, here you go. Alright, yo, while Greg's looking for his video, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button. Also, make sure you hit the notification button so you make sure you get all the videos I post when they're posted. Thank you guys again for helping me reach my one little milestone. The next one's going to come, and it's going to take you guys subscribing, spreading the love, spreading the positivity, and continue dream chasing. Until next time, peace. See? So bye, Greg.
Peace!